Donald Trump, about 2 weeks ago, accused President Obama of tapping his wires. And, perhaps he was not aware of the reality that whatever he says is something that can command an investigation immediately. Investigations ensued. And yesterday, the House Intelligence Committee said that there was no evidence of Trump's claim. And today, the Senate Intelligence Committee said that there was no evidence of the claim. What's fascinating about this is if there was evidence, Donald Trump was the person who had the ability to declassify it and expose it, because it fell underneath the purview of the Department of Justice. And to that end, Jeff Sessions, making sure to cover his behind, said that he gave no indication to Donald Trump that something like this actually happened. It's very fascinating to see how quickly Jeff Sessions moved into protecting his butt, even though Donald Trump had to look out for him on his perjury. But anyway, that's not the story. The story here is that Donald Trump opened his mouth based on a headline and a story from Mark Levin, who writes for Breitbart, who is a right-wing conservative shill hack, who himself was smart enough to pose it as a rhetorical question and not assert it as a statement of fact. Donald Trump, not being intelligent enough to float it as a question, but instead asserted it as a fact, stirred the entire country and the investigative capacity of the House and the Senate into action, and they found nothing, which essentially means that Donald Trump, for whatever reason, which I'm sure this is not the first and definitely not going to be the last time, lied to America straight out, word for word, just a flat out lie, accusing President Obama of, quote, tapping his wires. The president, last week, he tweeted again, even after the initial tweet. Well, actually, no, this was 2 weeks ago. And it was the original tweet saying that this is McCarthyism. This is surveillance. He really made a deal out of it so big that it set everyone in motion. John McCain, demanding evidence. Lindsey Graham, Republican, his own party, demanding that he turn over some evidence, that the FBI produce some evidence, and nothing was found. Representative Devin Nunes, a Republican from California, who's the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, he said in a press conference, he said, quote, "I don't believe just in the last week of time, the people we've talked to, I don't believe there was an actual tap of Trump Tower. At this point, we do not have any evidence." I mean, we knew this. I think rational people understood that there was either no tap at all, or B, if there was a tap, that there's a tap that was obtained through a FISA warrant that really has its own life outside of the purview of the president. In terms of the Senate Intelligence Committee, they found no indication that Trump Tower was the subject of surveillance. The chairman of the committee, Richard Burr, also a Republican of North Carolina, he said, quote, "Based on the information available to us, we see no indications that Trump Tower was the subject of surveillance by any element of the United States government either before or after Election Day 2016. I mean, Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House, he got in on it. He said, quote, "We've cleared that up. We've seen no evidence of that." This is hilarious if it wasn't an indication of the child that we have sitting in the White House. It is fascinating to me how mediocre does not even begin to describe Donald Trump. Feckless is not substantive. It's not. It doesn't capture it. It doesn't capture who Donald Trump is. We have not literally, but we in many ways have elected your angry uncle who sits around and argues at Fox News all day, and they share those viral emails, those chain emails talking about Obama stealing their weapons and taking their Second Amendment rights, and they see a headline from InfoWars and they swear it's this is who we have elected as the president of the United States. And because he is that person and that is his character, what do we expect? What do we expect other than him doing exactly what he has always done? I don't know where I heard this, probably on Twitter. I don't know who to credit it with, but it's not mine. He said, the person who tweeted it said he ran on chaos. He was elected in chaos. And should we expect anything else but for him to govern through chaos? I think that's the most accurate description of who Donald Trump is.